Now, Google has shown off a prototype smartphone that can create a 3D map of the user's surroundings. The company says the technology has various applications, from helping blind people to move around to immersive indoor gaming. Project Tango, as it's now been called, is being put to professional developers to create apps. Well, let's speak to Martin Bryant. He's the editor-in-chief at technology news website The Newsweb. He joins us via Skype from Manchester. Good evening to you. Thank you very much for joining us, Martin. It's called Project Tango, so very much at a project stage this, but is it the future?
I wouldn't say it's necessarily the future, and I think that we'll all be using it or anything, but it's certainly something that I think will creep into smartphones over the next few years. It's still at an early stage, but certainly I'd say in maybe 2 or 3 years, it's reasonable to expect that we may see some of this 3D sensing technology start to emerge in phones we can buy in the shops.
So just explain how it would work, because effectively a phone, a handheld mobile phone, will be able to use sensors within it to map, using 3D, perhaps a room that they're in or a building. And why would you want to do that?
Yes, well, so it's a number of sensors. It's, I think, 3 sensors in this device, like a 3D camera. It can sense motion, and it can sense the distances objects are away from the phone itself. And so, yes, a number of different uses here. For example, you mentioned helping people who are blind to be able to be aware of objects coming up. So having a map of the surroundings on a dynamic, ongoing basis, it could warn them that there are steps ahead, for example, to be aware of. Then, in terms of gaming, imagine it capturing a 3D model of your garden, and then you moving that into a game and having a Street Fighter type game in your garden. And then something more practical, for example, taking a 3D model of a home, so people can take a virtual tour if you want to sell it, or if you want to map your living room so you can get a nice 3D view of what that new sofa will look like exactly, to the exact measurements in your room. So there are lots of interesting applications.
The mind boggles at what it could achieve. I mean, until recently, embedding these kind of sensors, presumably very, very expensive and power intensive as well as for users?
Yes, absolutely. And I mean, there wasn't much indication that any technology like this was anywhere near close to being able to be put into mobile phones. We've seen it in the military and in the Kinect camera that Microsoft has for the Xbox consoles. But yes, there's a low-power chip that an Irish company has developed that Google's been working with, which has helped them really do this surprisingly quickly.
OK, Martin Bryant, thank you very much for joining us.